This Venom tongue cannot beat the... Look at that. So, have you seen this bootleg Venom before? It has been floating around on the internet for the longest while. It has been a few years, and I finally got my hands on it. It comes in a clamshell, very similar to Toy Biz Marvel Legends, but it's definitely smaller. And this one that I got is kind of slightly squashed because they didn't pack it properly. But yeah, the figure looks fine. This is a rather strange bootleg figure because the packaging is really a mixture of weird random stuff. So first off, they have the word Venom over here, and there's actually another version of this same bootleg figure but with the word Jagger. Yeah, I don't know where they got that word from, but whatever. At the top of the packaging you can see the word Venom, and then there's the sticker of 18 points of articulation, the Venom figure in the clamshell. You can see the alternate long tongue, and also at the bottom is Venom's face. And over here it says choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years old but for ages 14 and up. Lol. And also they have this comic shop locator service logo over here. Is this a US based shop or something? I'm not very sure. At the bottom of the figure we have Toy Biz toll-free customer service number, and then we have the Toy Biz Marvel Legends logo and proof of purchase. It looks very kind of official looking, but of course we know that it's definitely not. And at the back again, at the top we have the Marvel Legends logo, but at the side there is this word Jagger again. Even though at the front it is Venom, at the back here it is Jagger and Mark IV. What Mark IV? Is this like supposed to be Iron Man Venom or something? Then we have the word Crimson Typhoon, whatever that means, and this funny looking logo over here. And at the bottom half are 6 comic covers which are upside down. At each of the comic cover there is actually a name supposedly for other figures in the series, but there's definitely no other figure in this bootleg series. We have Sipsy Danger, Crimson Typhoon, which is this one, Striker Eureka, Battle Damage Gypsy Danger, Coyote Tango, and Cherno Alpha. Really weird names. And the most funniest of all at the bottom is we have the NECA logo, and then we have Real Toys, we have Legendary from the movies, and also Warner Brothers. So this packaging is really kind of a mixture of everything. I got this figure mostly for the head sculpt because it has a very high resemblance to the animated series Venom. So yeah, let's check out this figure. Here's the figure in the clamshell. And here's the figure in the tongue. Lol. Here's the piece of paper that is at the bottom of the packaging. It's really flimsy because it is just a piece of paper and it's not really cardboard material at all. Yeah. At the back is a cardboard, so this is a bit harder. You can see that the picture is kind of slightly blurry. It's not really at a high resolution, and the picture of the Venom is kind of stretched out. And there's actually a phrase evolution of an icon at the bottom, which is hidden when it was still in packaging. Here's a closer look at the comics. We have 2 issues of Venom, 2 issues of Maximum Carnage, and another 2 more Amazing Spider-Man issues. The first thing about the figure is that when I try to make it stand, the ankle joint is actually slightly loose. And because of the heavy upper torso, this figure is actually quite solid. It's actually quite difficult to make him stand. Or there's a high chance that he might fall if you were to make him stand in any pose at all. Here's a closer look at the head sculpt, and I really feel it has very high resemblance to the animated series Venom. The sculpt is actually not bad. Here's the torso. And all the way to the back. I like that he really has kind of broad shoulders and arms. Makes him look more menacing. And all the way down to the legs, and look at this. What were they thinking putting 3 toes on Venom? This is really ridiculous. At the bottom it's really just flat, Looks kind of funny actually, like duck feet. And what's this at the bottom? Marvel.com 2015. But so yeah, the figure is really quite solid and it's not hollow or anything. Probably because there is no ab crunch. We'll talk about the joints later on. But I find the sculpt really quite good. Now for the tongue, let's try to swap it out. So here's the figure without the tongue. Actually, he looks quite good without the tongue as well. Except that at this angle, you can kind of see the hole inside the mouth. But yeah, from the side, he actually looks great. Here's the tongue. Look at that. It's really quite disgusting. Lol. But this Venom tongue cannot beat the... Look at that. But this tongue cannot match the Monster Venom KO that I got with this alternate head. This tongue is definitely more awesome. And it's adjustable. You can check out my comparison between the Monster Venom Authentic and KO. Link is in the description below or at the exclamation mark above. Articulation. For the articulation of the figure, it's not really that great. It's very different from Marvel Legends. It has a double-ended ball pack for the neck, arms, and also hip joints, and a different type of hinge joint on the knees and the elbows, and also the wrist. For the head, because of the type of joint that it has, it really restricts the head movement. The head can't really look up. This is the maximum that it can go up. Look down, and when it looks sideways, it kind of swivels to the side. The arms can only go up this high, and that's because of the double-ended ball joint again. The arm swivels around, of course, and for the elbow, it's some sort of hinge joint, but look at the movement that it does. That's all. That's the only movement up and down. Same goes for the other arm. Yep, that's it. Venom can't scratch his own nose. The figure does have a forearm swivel, but the forearm swivel is kind of weird. When I pluck it out, it's actually a hinge joint. But the hinge joint is kind of useless because the forearm is kind of inserted and it cannot move up and down once the forearm is in place. The wrist has a hinge joint that allows it to go up and down and also swivel around. It's totally missing the ab crunch and also the waist swivel. And for the thigh joint, double-ended ball pack again. This is the maximum amount of split it can do. This is the most that it can kick forward, and the most that the leg can move back. It has, however, double hinge knee joint, which allows this much movement. And again, the knee joint is kind of different because you can take a look over here at the back of the knee joint. It's definitely different from the Marvel Legends figures. And lastly, this awful feat is the ankle joint, which has a swivel joint and also a hinge joint up and down, and it's also able to swivel around. This is how the joint looks like. So in terms of articulation, it really has poor articulation. On the packaging, it says 18 points of articulation, but it's actually more of 18 points of wiggling. All the joints can do is just wiggle a bit up and down. Now, for size comparison, here's Deluxe Eddie Brock Venom, Monster Venom with Venom, and also Fox Movie Venom. So the size of this bootleg Venom is actually quite decent. He's actually taller than the Monster Venom with Venom. And here's Spidey for comparison. So all the Venom figures over here is definitely bigger than Spidey, as Venom should be. Here's another pair of comparison with the Toy Biz Spider-Man Classics Jaw Chomping Venom and also the Sinister Six box set Venom. The Sinister Six Venom is kind of slightly shorter than the bootleg Venom, and the head does look kind of small. And the Spider-Man Classics Venom is definitely bigger in size than the bootleg. Now that I've compared most of the Marvel Legends Venom, I actually kind of like the proportion of the body of the bootleg Venom. He's not too big, and at the same time, definitely still bigger than Spidey. Although the articulation is definitely a letdown, of course. Now for some head swap. The head of the Venom always comes out with the joint, so I'll need to plug this out. And first up would be this Venom figure over here. Here's the figure. The head of the bootleg Venom is kind of slightly glossy. And the difference is kind of obvious over here. But besides that, it actually looks kind of okay. Or maybe the head looks kind of slightly big. But overall still okay. The movie Venom next. Here's the movie Venom with the bootleg head, and the bootleg head actually fits the movie Venom body quite well. Definitely more proportionate than the other Venom body. The paintwork also matches the body of the movie Venom. But the only thing is that the articulation of the head is not that great. Can look up a bit, but not able to look down at all. And time for Monster Venom. Nope, the head is definitely too small for this. Kind of coincidental that all of the ball packs of the head joint is the same size, and that the head can be swapped from one figure to another. So what do you think of the bootleg Venom figure? This bootleg has been around for the longest time, and the sculpt on the figure is really great, except for the articulation that is really terrible. The head sculpt especially is the winner for this, but then once I take the head, the body, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably just keep it aside, or I don't know, throw it away or something, because the lack of articulation would mean that I definitely wouldn't be using this for any sort of custom or anything. Share your thoughts about this figure in the comment below. Thanks for watching. Do stay tuned for more comparison videos. Hit the subscribe button and do hit the like button for this video too. And stay tuned for more comparison video.